Every new day brings new opportunities for you to conquer the business world.
Start your day with the show that drives your business.
Be the first to know the latest prices around town, the latest business information around the country and the world.
We bring you in-depth analysis with exclusive interviews from your key players.
And of course, wouldn't you want that for your morning? Get up to speed with what is trending in the business world, all in one morning show. Smart Means Business with your favorite guy, Joram Post Sonko
and Rita Cavaniero.
Every weekdays, Mondays to Friday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we drive you into the business world. This is Smart 24. Smart 24, driving business.
What a bright dawn that coming to you with new opportunities to conquer the business world. Welcome to Smart 24 TV. Thank you for joining us. This is SMB Smart Means Business. I'm Rita Cavaniero, and you can get to us anywhere or from anywhere, anytime by simply downloading the Your TV channel through MTN app. It is always easier that way. You can watch us anywhere, and do not forget that you're going to be experiencing a lot of business information coming your way right here, and latest updates coming in from around the country and across the globe around the areas of business, where we will also be bringing to you SMB reports regarding what is happening from Deposit Protection Fund. We will be taking a look on trafficking systems and also the withdrawal forms from the ICOs. But we'll also be bringing to you SMB across borders, where we take a look at what is happening around the country's borders, even across, that is in regards to international. Not forgetting an insight, SMB Insight, where we bring to you closely a detailed package of what you do not know from across different sectors around there. And not forgetting as well, we entertain and bring to you experts to analyze for you moments or also take you through what you do not know, and therefore you will help, or you will be helped to drive business around there together. And now let us kick it with an SMB report or SMB stories here, and kicking it with the Deposit Protection Fund, which is a crucial aspect for safety of funds as they are getting deposited. Now, the Deposit Protection Fund protects a large percentage of retail depositors, and therefore making it a quite crucial aspect for safety of funds being deposited around there. In Uganda, it is a committee being upholding our international best practices, and also setting higher standards of businesses, integrity, ethical values, and governance. Let's take a look at how Deposit Protection Fund is being functional around the country. We do return to speak more about that.
Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda is a government agency that provides deposit insurance to customers of deposit-taking institutions licensed by the Bank of Uganda. It protects your savings if your financial institution fails and you don't have to apply or pay for the deposit insurance. The fund stood at 966 billion shillings as of 30th June 2021, up from 787 billion shillings a year before. It provides cover for up to 10 million shillings per deposit account, and figures show that about 98% of the accounts have 10 million or less and therefore fully protected. While speaking to Smart 24 TV, Balam Sempala, the head of IT department at Deposit Protection Fund, explains about the mandate of the agency agency and which people are entitled to the fund.
Now, for our people who need to understand what this deposit protection is, basically deposit protection is a government agency which exists by law. It was put in place by law, and we are to ensure one of our core mandate is to ensure that the deposit, the money that is kept in the banks for the depositors is well protected. Who deposit their money in the licensed institution is contributing institution is, if you put your money in a contributing institution, a bank, for example, that is supervised and licensed by Bank of Uganda, will cover you. The Deposit Protection Fund will cover you. However, if you put your money, we have other money lenders, for example, who are not licensed by Bank of Uganda, and you take your money there, or some of these other schemes which are not supervised, they are not licensed by Bank of Uganda, we don't cover you if that scheme or that club or that something gets problems.
Balaam describes a joint account and how a customer or client knows whether it is guaranteed.
It is an account where 2 or 3 or more than 2 people come together and they open up an account in a bank or in a credit institution. An insurance on every account in a licensed institution. A licensed institution is the one which is licensed by Bank of Uganda and supervised by Bank of Uganda. And the institution is either a bank, a commercial bank, or a credit institution, or a deposit-taking institution. So we do ensure that money that is saved in this institution is actually well managed.
Furthermore, he explains about the taxation of money from the protection fund and compensation to a customer in case the bank account closed.
No, we don't tax. You will get all your money. Now, for example, if you put your money, you are a customer in Bank A, for example, and that Bank A is closed by Bank of Uganda. Now, as Deposit Protection Fund, we come in at that time of closure of your bank, and then we compute all the balances, the depositor balances, the money that depositors are supposed to get. So we compute and we make sure that we are able to pay every depositor up to 10 million. That is the amount that is insured for every depositor. So we pay up to 10 million, and then the rest, if you have more money, if we are after deducting the loans, your what we call your liabilities, after deducting those liabilities, then the balance, and after we have removed the insured amount of 10 million, the balance is paid through the liquidation process. Yeah. However, for the money that we pay, that 10 million, we don't tax it. Even URI doesn't tax it. Even if we pay through a mobile money service provider, a mobile money service provider, that service provider will not deduct. If we are to pay you 10 million, you will receive your 10 million package. Now the transactional costs are borne by the DPF.
Vanessa Olupot, Smart 24 TV.
That's a great one. I just wish you could be a part of the Deposit Protection Fund in every bank. Maybe the service could be there or could be available for you to surely explore and also experience such experience. I mean, it's a good thing if there are no charges involved into the transaction process, even when they are putting, you know, on via the mobile money or mobile money units, and then you're not getting any cuts fares. And the fares are being treated by DPF, that is the protection fund around there. That means it's a good thing. It keeps on sustainability. But also, just to refer on the annual report for the year highlighted from the, that is the Deposit Protection Fund, they're highlighting over the period under the review of the total assets of the fund that grew up by 22% from 821 billion Uganda shillings as of June 2020. They're highlighting about the investments in Uganda for the government treasury bill and bonds that were increased from 808 billion Uganda shillings in the year 2020 to 989 billion over the year, and the treasury bill and bonds constituted about 99% of that total asset around there. But again, what do you have to know about the total deposits with the banking sector? This has seen a growth from around 14.8% from 27 trillion Uganda shillings as of June 2020, and from 31 trillion Uganda shillings from June 2020 to June 2021. So you realize that there is a number of an increase in the fund or the deposit in regards to the bonds, that is according to the treasury bill. This means that maybe people have got to embrace the Deposit Protection Fund. Remember, we've been in COVID-19, and the one way you could survive, or the one way you could actually know that there is a future for what you're saving for, is joining insurance. And this is also an insurance part of an insurance policy around here, or I can say that it is one of the insurance explosion or activities happening, and it is instituted by the government of Uganda. And just to highlight here as we conclude on this one, you will realize that the sector has also witnessed a 14.3%, that is around 2.4 million increase in the total number of the accounts, from 16.7 million accounts as of June 2020. And that is if you to compare what was happening in 2020 and 2021, you will realize there has been an increase also of 19.1 million accounts as of June, that is 2021, and this is counted or reflected from the financial years given from 2020 to 2021. Like I said earlier, COVID-19 has given lessons that in case you're not ready, or in case there are uncertainties, how ready are you going to be in maybe in continuity of your businesses, or in making sure that your business stands out, not even businesses as we speak, but how you sustain your livelihood, how you're able to sustain your family around there. But we continue to drive business around here. Now let us look at how tracking systems that were earlier on initiated as a project of highlighted project Jim Muhwezi is facing a lot of criticism from members of parliament. Members of parliament on Committee of Defence and Infrastructure have raised concern over the project, and also on the Committee of Defence there has been raised concern on security trackers project that government is pushing for. Now the government signed a contract with the Russian company, which was ordered by President Museveni to take on, as well as members of parliament, and not convinced. Members of parliament are not convinced at all, saying that there is something before the start of the project, or even the project before it proceeds. Let's have more on what members of parliament have got to say on this project.
After the bomb blasts last year in Kampala and the attempted murder of General Katumba Wamala, the president ordered the State Minister of Defence, General David Muhoozi, to take on this project of installing all cars in the country with track systems in a bid to curb criminals. But members that sit on the Committee on Defence and Infrastructures still have more they want to know about this program before it is implemented.
We need to know what is contained therein.
Yes.
Because this is my car, my property, my asset, not government money. And therefore, if government wants to put a gadget in my vehicle, which I already registered with the same government, then I must know what you have signed with that company on my behalf.
But on the other hand, some members still wonder why this project was rushed before addressing the parliament.
Then on June 24th, just 3 days after being sworn in, Jim was right to Haji Yunus Kakande, asking him to expedite the process. On 25th June, you can see the speed. It is supersonic. PM Robin and Abanja writes to General Jim demanding an update on the project. On June 28th, 2021, another letter comes from Patrick Okairap on behalf of the Permanent Secretary of the Treasury about the same project. On July 1st, 2021, General Jim and the Interministerial Committee met the Russians to agree on the terms. On July 23rd, government of Uganda and the Russians signed the agreement. 4 days after the agreement was signed, that is 27th, General Jim was in Parliament now to answer.
Several times, cases have come up with the government losing money to companies that are given tenders and yet they are fake and do not exist.
He gets into commitment with some people who are not established anywhere. You have heard of those things earlier before in former parliaments. So we can find about from them, home, in their home country, whether they actually do these things. I don't want to re-echo this Rubawa thing where somebody says has experience in doing what he cannot do after all this money and time has been given to them. My concern is to do with where it is security, but there is economics in this. We don't have to lose money to people duping the president every other time.
Therefore, it was decided by the committee to summon all stakeholders in the security so that they explain the project.
The Minister for Works also to come. We have other implementing agencies. We have police at the center. I don't know whether the Minister of Internal Affairs is also part of this, since we are discussing issues dealing with security. Yes. And the police is going to be implementing. So I think let's have a date, which is soon. We thought we would meet them this week, but the Minister of Security said he's gone with the Vice President to Eastern Uganda to meet the leaders from Karamoja and Teso over those issues. So for me, and we are sector committees, we usually meet Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I suggest we meet next week like Tuesday.
Well, and there's critics coming in from members of parliament, and I also came to learn most of them were opposition leaders, from the opposition side, highlighting more so their concern, them being opposition and them being tracked by government, that they tend to oppose what is going to be happening. But a lot of questions and a lot of concerns are raising from public, and one of the members of parliament there, that is Faith Kunira, there was highlighting that why should I or why should she re-register again the vehicle that she owns and already is registered to the government, registered to the government, and why should there be another registration? What doesn't she know on maybe government's behalf or on her behalf that government has to address with the Russian company, that is the stock company Global Security, that was emerged on the scene to claim the motor vehicle GPS deal, or the GPS tracking system around there. And you will also realize a number of insecurities have been happening around killings, around murder, and also theft that has been highlighted towards being conjoined with the transportation system, that is in regards to the borders. Also, we have got issues on drone vehicles more so that have been used or have been reportedly highlighted on for causing or implementations on these insafety or insecurity cases. A case in point when that is when Parliament was awakened by the assassination of the Arua Municipality Member of Parliament Ibrahim Abiriga in 2018. This move was also part of the wide-ranging effort, including fingerprinting, including registration of guns, including installation of CCTV cameras around major streets of Kampala. I do not know where you're working from or where you're staying. If you're passing by a road, are you into, do you actually realize you're passing by a CCTV? So these are some of the issues maybe you should share in our comment section. They will also help in giving feedback. But we are seeing also a concern around security, whereby recently President Museveni, before he let green of the borders to hit again the life night, you know, the life night driving in and riding around there, working in the night. They were also being pinned in the same matter that there is a rise in insecurity or insecurity bringing in from borders, because a number of murder cases, a number of theft that have been reported are a result of borders, or people who, the suspects really, the crime suspects tend to use borders from one place to another, and that has also implemented or pinned again government that in case that is the reason, then the better way to improve this is installation or more installation of CCTV cameras, because you may not stop, you know, individuals to move from one place to another. And I'm glad that President Museveni came out recently and, you know, let go borders and said, you know what, you can work in the night, but with the clear regulations. You have got to be fully registered, you have got to be maybe fully licensed to be operating border around Kampala, especially Kampala areas. But we're also seeing murder cases even away from Kampala here across the country. There are a lot of increasing safetiness. But as we conclude on the installation of GPS devices, or installation of tracking devices around here, what could come out as from the installation, or what do you really have to say about it? You can comment on us, but from me I can say yes, it's a good thing. Tracking someone, tracking maybe movements, but there is a better way. I can say there is always an improved way, better way of doing it. At least as in other countries, they may not have the they are not tracking directly on the devices, including transportation devices like border, like vehicles. We're seeing other tracking systems that actually are working for other countries. For example, the systems where you have got already someone's registration, they are registered anywhere, they're in the computer, they're computerized, they're in the system electronically, and maybe the phones that they're using as well, maybe they could put a chip in the phones, devices like phones, because I believe before someone goes ahead to commit something or a crime, there is a mode of communication they are using. So instead of tracking the movement, why can't it be tracked using, you know, the phone? And because we register the phones, when you go to buy a phone, when you go to buy a line that you're using, you tend to register it. So I think this could work better than just tracking individual movements. And that is also facing a lot of critics. But like you heard around, the committee is still on to summoning some board members or more stakeholders to really discuss on that matter and have a fair judgment after all. We do take a break. SMB continues after the break, where we're going to be traveling or crossing over to cross borders and looking at what is happening around there. Stick around with us. We do return.